Someone has to say it, and I suppose it's going to be me. The level of scrutiny, criticism, and outright disdain aimed at Caleb Williams from outside observers has escalated to something truly remarkable. And honestly, it's starting to feel out of control. The topic has reached such a fever pitch that it can't simply be ignored anymore. And that's why today we're going to dissect what's happening with Caleb Williams and why he seems to have become the most targeted quarterback in the NFL, at least in terms of online chatter and media narratives. Whether you're a Bears fan or simply a football enthusiast, there's no denying that Williams has attracted an extraordinary amount of attention, both positive and negative. But the negative seems to dominate right now, and a large portion of it has been fueled by one very visible voice, Colin Cowherd. It's fascinating to see the trajectory of Cowherd's commentary because it's been a complete turnaround from what we saw after Williams' rookie season. Initially, he was one of Williams' staunch defenders. After all, Williams had a solid rookie campaign under extremely challenging circumstances, with a subpar supporting cast, inconsistent coaching, and a team that frankly was still trying to figure itself out. Cowherd publicly supported the decision for Williams to return to USC, showing confidence in his abilities, his mental toughness, and his potential to evolve into a franchise quarterback. But now, almost abruptly, Cowherd seems to have pivoted, and the tone of his coverage has shifted dramatically. The enthusiasm that once accompanied his praise has given way to skepticism, criticism, and at times, almost overt negativity. To be clear, it's absolutely Cowherd's prerogative to hold whatever opinion he wants. Media personalities are allowed to change their minds, reassess players, or voice criticism. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But the abruptness of this shift, especially considering that Williams hasn't even played a single snap in the preseason, yet feels jarring and honestly a little premature. Cowherd's recent comments on his podcast are an example of this shift in real time. He suggested, quite casually, that if Caleb struggles over the next 2 years, the Bears could simply trade him and still receive a good draft pick in return. While it's true on paper that a talented, high-draft quarterback like Williams could generate significant trade value even if things don't work out perfectly, the timing of such a statement is perplexing. We are barely 1 year into his professional career, and the Bears have invested heavily in him during the offseason, rebuilding the offensive line, adding weapons in the passing game, and hiring Ben Johnson as a head coach with the clear intention of developing Williams. The idea that we're already entertaining the notion of trading him feels like a massive leap, one that is not supported by any on-field evidence yet. Furthermore, Cowherd's fixation on Williams not playing in the preseason opener has added fuel to the fire. He's repeatedly framed it as though Ben Johnson and the Bears coaching staff were deliberately protecting Williams from public scrutiny, comparing it to a tech company holding back a product that isn't ready for mass release. The reality, however, is far simpler. Preseason management strategies often involve carefully balancing practice reps and game exposure, especially for young quarterbacks. According to Ben Johnson and the team, the decision to keep starters, including Williams, out of the first preseason game was not about sheltering him from criticism. Instead, it was about maximizing practice repetitions, ensuring players could work with the new offense in a controlled environment, and allowing key starters to build rhythm before facing actual game situations. On top of that, players who didn't play in the opener received significant additional reps, both before and after the game, a decision that benefits long-term development far more than a limited exposure in a preseason game ever could. Despite these clarifications from the team, Cowherd continues to push this narrative as if Williams was some fragile beta product that required coddling. It's a simplification that doesn't reflect the reality of professional coaching or player development. Ben Johnson has been publicly firm and demanding with all players, and there's no indication that Williams is being handled with kid gloves. In fact, a careful examination of how the team has structured practice and game preparation shows that the decision was entirely pragmatic and strategic, not conspiratorial. Yet, the media narrative continues to amplify the story, framing Williams as if his every move or non-move is newsworthy and suspect. What's even more remarkable is the comparison, or lack thereof, to other quarterbacks in similar situations. For instance, Drake May, selected just 2 picks after Williams, played in the preseason and struggled visibly, but this barely merited discussion on Cowherd's platform. The contrast highlights a double standard. When Caleb doesn't play, it becomes an obsession, but when another rookie struggles, it barely registers. This selective attention feeds into the perception that Williams is being unfairly scrutinized, almost as though the mere act of being Caleb Williams automatically makes him a lightning rod for criticism. Cowherd's latest statements about Williams' early practices further illustrate the problem. He highlighted that Williams' first practices in training camp were choppy and inconsistent, a normal occurrence for any quarterback adjusting to a new system, particularly when coming off a rookie season in a struggling team. But Cowherd took these isolated moments as evidence to justify skepticism about Williams' ability to meet the lofty expectations set for him. He repeatedly frames these minor missteps as major indicators, disregarding context, historical patterns of rookie development, and the natural learning curve for young quarterbacks. What we see here is a rush to judgment, a willingness to assign labels and make projections based on extremely limited data, often before the season has even officially begun. The situation is compounded by commentary from other analysts. Jason McIntyre, for example, recently compared Williams to Johnny Manziel, suggesting that if Caleb becomes too reliant on mobility and improvisation, he might flame out in a similar way. This is not only an inaccurate comparison, but fundamentally misunderstands the circumstances surrounding Manziel's career. Manziel's struggles were largely off-field, related to personal choices and a lack of commitment, rather than his style of play or willingness to extend plays. Caleb Williams, by contrast, possesses far superior physical attributes, a stronger arm, and greater durability, as well as a professional support system designed to maximize his strengths and address his weaknesses. To suggest that Caleb's improvisational skills inherently doom him to fail is a gross misrepresentation that ignores both talent evaluation and the realities of player development in the NFL. It's worth emphasizing that while Williams does have areas for improvement, timing, decision-making in the pocket, and offensive processing speed, these are typical of any quarterback entering their second NFL season. His rookie year, played under less than ideal coaching circumstances, was solid considering the environment. Comparing him to other rookies historically, like Jared Goff or even Peyton Manning, shows that Williams' trajectory is not unusually concerning. If anything, it's fairly standard and perhaps even encouraging when contextualized properly. The vitriol online, however, often ignores these nuances. Every minor misstep, every incomplete practice, and every media-driven speculation is magnified, creating an impression that Williams' career is teetering on the edge before he has even truly begun to play. What's most striking about this situation is the timing. The criticism has intensified well before the regular season, long before meaningful evaluation through games can occur. Analysts are discussing trades, questioning preparation, and drawing extreme comparisons, all based on preseason practices, coaching adjustments, and isolated moments in training camp. Meanwhile, the team's leadership remains confident in their plan: develop Williams methodically, leverage practices and strategic reps, and prepare him for the regular season. Yet the online narrative, amplified by media figures, seems determined to preemptively judge, label, and speculate. The reaction to Williams online demonstrates a broader issue in sports media: the tendency to prioritize sensationalism and bold statements over nuanced analysis. Every decision is examined through the lens of potential drama, every minor difficulty is framed as evidence of failure, and every absence from preseason action is interpreted as proof of weakness or fragility. In reality, the process of developing an elite quarterback is far more methodical and deliberate, and patience is a critical component. Williams' talent is undeniable. But like any young quarterback, he requires time, coaching, and experience to fully realize his potential. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's been growing speculation in the sports world about the future of DJ Moore with the Chicago Bears, and murmurs suggest that the wide receiver might be considering a departure from the Windy City. Sources close to the situation hint that Moore has felt undervalued by the Bears organization, sparking rumors that his tenure with the team could be nearing its end. This kind of unrest often signals a possible trade or request for release, especially when a talented player like Moore doesn't feel appreciated where he currently plays. The Bears have faced criticism for how they've managed their roster in recent years, and if these whispers hold true, it could be another chapter in their struggles to retain top-tier talent. Fans and analysts alike are watching closely, wondering if Moore's dissatisfaction will push him toward greener pastures, potentially altering the Bears' offensive dynamic significantly. Given the nature of the NFL, where team chemistry and player morale play crucial roles, the possibility of losing Moore may be more than just idle talk. It could become a reality that forces Chicago to rethink its strategy both on and off the field as they aim to rebuild and compete in a tough division. The idea of DJ Moore feeling overlooked by the Bears organization is not without precedent. In professional sports, where players sometimes leave teams simply because they sense they are not receiving the recognition or support they deserve, Moore's impressive performances and undeniable talent make him a valuable asset in the league, and if he truly feels unappreciated, it raises questions about the Bears' ability to nurture and retain their key players. This situation can have ripple effects affecting team morale and performance, especially if other players start to question their own value within the squad. The Bears might face a dilemma if Moore's rumored dissatisfaction turns into a formal trade request, as finding a suitable replacement for a receiver of his caliber would be challenging. It also opens the door to speculation about where Moore might land next, with several teams potentially eager to add his skill set to their roster. Such a move could shift the balance of power in the NFL, especially if Moore joins a contender. With a strong offensive strategy ready to maximize his talents, the uncertainty surrounding his future leaves fans eager for clarity but also apprehensive about the implications for Chicago. Whispers from inside the league suggest that Moore's frustrations stem not only from on-field matters, but also from the overall management style and direction of the Bears franchise. Insiders claim that the lack of consistent offensive weapons and the team's struggles in recent seasons have contributed to a growing sense of dissatisfaction for Moore, who has continuously proven himself as a reliable target. If the Bears are unable to provide the support and environment that elite players demand, it is plausible that Moore might explore options elsewhere, especially if teams with stronger championship prospects express interest. The potential move is stirring conversations among coaches, analysts, and fans who debate whether the Bears front office is prepared to lose a star player and what that loss would mean for the team's future. Additionally, Moore's market value could increase if the rumors turn into an official trade, making the Bears' decision even more complex as they weigh immediate benefits against long-term goals. The situation highlights broader issues within the Bears organization that could extend beyond one player's discontent and into questions about leadership and vision. Amidst the rumors, the media frenzy around DJ Moore's possible exit from Chicago has intensified, with social media buzzing and sports networks dissecting every statement and performance for clues. Moore's recent interviews and subtle remarks fuel the speculation, as he hints at feeling undervalued without explicitly confirming any intentions to leave. Such a delicate dance is typical in the NFL when a player contemplates a move but aims to keep leverage in negotiations. The Bears fan base is divided. Some argue that the team should do whatever it takes to keep Moore, while others suggest that moving on might open opportunities for rebuilding with fresh talent. Meanwhile, rival teams might see this as a golden chance to acquire a proven receiver who can elevate their passing game instantly. The timing of this rumor is also critical, as the NFL offseason and trade deadlines approach, meaning any decisions could happen swiftly and dramatically. The unfolding narrative around Moore's future is shaping up to be one of the most talked about storylines in the league, with potential ramifications well beyond just the Bears' locker room. Looking ahead, if DJ Moore does decide to leave the Chicago Bears, the ripple effects will be felt across the NFL landscape. sparking new strategic moves and reshuffling in multiple teams' offensive plans. Moore's departure could signal a broader shift in player empowerment, where top talent demands recognition and reward in increasingly vocal ways. For the Bears, it would mean recalibrating their offense and perhaps accelerating their search for a new identity as they try to compete in a division full of powerhouses. The potential trade or release also raises intriguing questions about which franchises are best positioned to capitalize on Moore's abilities, possibly tipping the scales in upcoming seasons. Moreover, this situation underscores the ongoing challenges teams face balancing financial considerations, team culture, and player satisfaction. While nothing is official yet, the persistent rumors surrounding DJ Moore's dissatisfaction with the Bears have ignited a firestorm of discussion that could culminate in a blockbuster move. Fans, analysts, and team executives are all bracing for what could be a transformative moment in the league, one that may redefine the Bears' trajectory and highlight the evolving dynamics of player-team relationships in professional football. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.